What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. Unified heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua, nicknamed AJ, who holds belts in the WBO, IBF, and WBA. The cash cow of the heavyweight division. He has a promoter that goes by the name of Hearn, aka Eddie the Con Artist, who does a good job of promoting AJ. Got to give him credit for it. He does a good job of promoting AJ, and he does a good job of promoting himself, as he is a P. Diddy of boxing promoters. Always in the video. Never seen a microphone that he want to get in front of and talk. Always in front of the camera. You know, you don't hardly see AJ do too many interviews. He don't really do too much talking on social media. He's a very reserved guy, very laid back guy. So his promoter basically does the talking for him. And Eddie Hearn has said a lot of things in regards to Anthony Joshua. And one of the things that kind of piqued my interest over the past several years that he said about Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua's resume. He says Anthony Joshua has fought all the top guys in the heavyweight division. Just look at who he's fought. He's always been willing to step in the ring with the best of the best in the heavyweight division. He has the best resume, not only in the heavyweight division, but in boxing, according to what Eddie Hearn has said in several interviews. I'm here to tell you that AJ's resume is overblown. I know a lot of people are going to say, wait a minute, JB Sports, what you talking about? You trying to say his resume is overrated? You trying to say AJ ain't fought nobody? What you talking about? Who's Deontay Wilder's fight? Skinny legs. My suit just wore me down. You want to start talking about all kind of other stuff beside what the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying his resume is overrated. He's fought some good guys. He's fought some top guys in the heavyweight division. But I'm saying it's overblown. And the reason why I'm saying that is he hasn't fought the top guys. Let me just be specific. The top two guys besides himself in the heavyweight division. The top three guys besides himself in the heavyweight division. See, the heavyweight division is three deep. It's Tyson Fury, it's Deontay Wilder, and it's Anthony Joshua. Now, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder is going on their third fight, going down in July 24th in Las Vegas, Nevada, aka Sin City, in Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders. That fight's going down. This will be their third meeting. Now we got the other guy that's in that three-headed monster at the top of the heavyweight division. Anthony Joshua, he has not fought either one of those guys. And why is that? And that's why I'm saying his resume is overblown. Until he fights Tyson Fury, and until he fights Deontay Wilder, his heavyweight resume is overblown, ladies and gentlemen. It's overblown. It's not overrated. And I get it that he's been in there with Dillian White. Then after that, he fought Charles Martin for the IBF heavyweight title. Then shortly after that, he fought Dominic Brazil. You know, he fought the Carlos Molinas. You know, he fought Vladimir Klitschko. Even though Vladimir Klitschko was coming off with a 2.5-year layoff, he fought him. He was a guy that dominated the heavyweight division for 10 plus years. After that, he fought Carlos Takam, but he was actually supposed to fight Kubrat Pulev. But Pulev, you know, pulled out of that fight, you know, for reasons unknown. He pulled out of that fight. And then he fought Carlos Takam, which is, for a replacement fighter, was a good opponent. Then after that, he fought Joseph Parker. And then after that, he fought Alexander Povetkin. But the problem with the Alexander Povetkin fight is he should have been fighting Deontay Wilder. That fight was there to be made, but his team didn't want it. I believe AJ wanted to fight, but Barry Hearn, aka Papa Hearn, along with his son Eddie Hearn, aka Eddie the Con Artist, pretty much put a kibosh on that fight. Shut that fight down. AJ had people he trusts, people he listened to, and he went with what they recommended him. They recommended him not to take the Deontay Wilder $50 million offer and 50% pay-per-view split. 50-50 pay-per-view split. So he hasn't fought Deontay Wilder, and he ain't fought Tyson Fury. Now, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua were linked to a bout for the last 4 months. You know, you heard Eddie Hearn getting in front of another camera, getting in front of many cameras, you know, saying that the fight was close. The fight was on the horizon. The fight was pretty much a done deal. Both parties had signed the contracts. It was just, the lawyers need to go over it and make sure everything was on the up and up as far as the contract goes, and both camps were happy. And once that happened, the fight would be signed off in the coming days. But them days did come. Them weekends went by, and the fight still did not get announced. It wasn't gonna never get announced because Fury had an arbitration that he was going through with Deontay, the bronze bomber Wilder. Wilder didn't drag his ass to mediation and then drag his ass to arbitration just to take step-aside money, ladies and gentlemen. I did a video yesterday and debunked that whole step-aside, which is nothing but a farce. Wasn't nothing but a big bald-faced lie fabricated by the UK promoter Frank Warren and his fighter Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, but it wasn't nothing to it. And I debunked that in the last video. But that's neither here nor there. AJ's resume is overblown, ladies and gentlemen. It's overblown. It's not overrated. He's fought some good fighters, but it's overblown because he ain't fought Deontay Wilder and he ain't fought Tyson Fury. Like I said, the heavyweight division is 3 deep. Now you can make a case that it could be 4 deep. I would put King Kong Luis Ortiz right there, maybe a half a step below those 3 guys. And then if you want to round it out, you got Dillian White and Andy Ruiz probably fight for that 5th spot. But the bottom line is you got 3 guys that have separated themselves from the rest of the fighters in the heavyweight division. That being Tyson Fury, that being Deontay Wilder, and that being Anthony Joshua. And Anthony Joshua has not fought either one of those other 2 guys that's up there with him as the top dogs in the heavyweight division. So until that's the case, his resume is overblown, ladies and gentlemen. He ain't done enough in the heavyweight division for Eddie Hearn to be up here glorifying his resume, saying he done been in here, oh man, AJ, look at his resume. Man, he's fought everybody. He's done everything in the heavyweight division. No, he ain't. He ain't done everything in the heavyweight division. He's fought some good fighters. His resume is definitely a good resume, but it ain't what Eddie Hearn is making it seem to be. Like he's just fighting all the top people. Well, if he fought all the top people, he would have fought Deontay Wilder by now instead of fighting Alexander Povetkin, and he would have fought Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was talking about fighting him when he was coming out of his little old hiatus, his little old depression that he was going through, and he was, you know, he was a dope fiend and all that type of stuff. When he was coming out there, he said he wanted to fight Anthony Joshua off the rip. Anthony Joshua was off the rip. Yeah, he wanted to fight Anthony Joshua off the rip. No tune-up or nothing. But Eddie Hearn wanted him to sign with Matchroom Boxing, and they had a 3-fight plan for him. They wanted him to fight, what's that guy name? I can't even remember that guy's name. What's that white boy name? I can't remember his name, from the United States. They wanted him to fight him. Then they wanted him to fight Tony Bellew. Then I think Dillian White. And then after that, he could get a fight with AJ. But it was like a 3-fight deal. But AJ wasn't really in the 3-fight deal. It was like 3 guys. Then we will entertain a fight between Tyson Fury and AJ. But Tyson Fury wanted to go straight to AJ. A lot of people are like, oh man, Anthony Joshua ain't gonna get no credit for fighting Tyson Fury after 2.5-year layoff. The guy's 400 pounds, overweight, depressed, no tune-ups, coming back. He ain't gonna get no credit for that. Don't worry about it. He ain't gonna get no credit for it. Tyson Fury asking for the smoke, you give it to him. Just like Gary Russell Jr. with the Terrence Crawford situation. Oh man, Gary Russell too little, man. Gary Russell needs to go sit down somewhere, man. He calling out, you know, why would Terrence Crawford fight him? He would get no credit. He called him out. He wants to smoke. Give him what he looking for. Same thing with Tyson Fury. He he say he was a lineal champion. Ain't nobody beat him. He retired from the sport of boxing. You know, give him what he's looking for. So they could have had that fight then. But you didn't want to fight. You know, Eddie Hearn was trying to lock him into a 3-fight deal, which was no guarantee that he was going to end up getting the AJ fight anyway. Because he had like 3-fight deal, but the third fight on the deal wasn't necessarily AJ. He probably could have been Dillian White. I know the first 2 guys was, I can't remember that guy they was talking about him fighting. I think that guy fought Luis Ortiz, the first guy. I can't remember his name, but it was a 3-fight deal. I know the second fight was definitely Tony Bellew. And then the third fight was going to be a Dillian White fight. And then if he'd have got through that, then yeah, they would have probably went around there and set up the AJ Fury fight. So that fight could have got done then when Tyson Fury was first coming back from his cocaine binge and deep depression. He could have had that fight then, but they ain't want it. So the bottom line is his resume is overblown, people. He ain't done enough in the heavyweight division. You know, it's kind of like reminds me of the Terrence Crawford situation. You know, everybody want to talk about, well, let me go back. Let me put it to you like this. No, now Anthony Joshua was getting prominently linked to a fight with Alexander Usyk. You know, and look, once that fight gets signed, Eddie Hearn gonna get in front of the camera and he gonna say, oh man, he fighting Alexander Usyk. He was undisputed in the cruiserweight division. AJ keeps taking on these tough challenges. AJ this and AJ that. You know, he gonna big up Usyk. You know, when has AJ ever took a soft touch? He's always fighting the top guys. But what has Usyk done in heavyweight division? I understand he's undisputed at the cruiserweight division. I can understand that. He's undisputed at cruiserweight. I get that. But what has he done in heavyweight division? He looked horrible against Chaz Witherspoon. He ran around in the ring and got on his bicycle and pulled a Lance Armstrong in the fight with Derek Chisora. He got the win, but he was less impressive. He's just too small for that division, especially when you talk about the heavyweight division, which is almost like ain't even heavyweight. It's like a super heavyweight division, big as those guys is nowadays. He's just too small. But you're going to big up that fight. And it kind of reminds me of the Terrence Crawford situation. Oh, Terrence Crawford was undisputed at 140 pounds. That's good. But what is he doing at welterweight? What has he done at 147 pounds? He's beating up on Jeff Horn. That's his best win. Jeff Horn had a belt beat Manny Pacquiao in a controversial decision. Outside of that, who you beat on? Jose Benavidez Jr.? Or one-legged, or Hoppy, a.k.a. Hoppy. You beat him. You beat, you know, you just ain't beat nobody in the heavyweight division. You know, you beat Egis Kavalauskas, a.k.a. the Green Machine. You beat him. But your welterweight resume is just less than impressive. And that's the same that goes with Alexander Usyk. He just has not done enough in the heavyweight division. So that's why I use that Terrence Bud Crawford as a parallel, because they basically in similar situations. I will say this, though. I will say that Terrence Bud Crawford's resume at welterweight is much better than, and his performance at welterweight has been much better than Alexander Usyk, because he stopped every fighter that he's fought in the welterweight division since moving up from 140 pounds. So, you know, not many fighters over the history of the sport can say that they moved up in weight and they fought like 6 straight fights at that high weight and they stopped 6 straight opponents after moving up in weight. So you got to give Terrence Crawford his just due. But the bottom line is, Anthony Joshua, your resume is overblown. It's not overrated, but it is overblown, and it will stay being an overblown resume until you step in that square circle and fight Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Let me know your thoughts about this comment that I made about Anthony Joshua and his overblown resume. Let me know your thoughts and hit the like button if you like the content of this video, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I'll holla.